A long time ago, there was a young girl named Adebimpe. She was a very hardworking girl, and her father Olumide loved her so much. Adebimpe lost her mother at a very young age, and her father remarried another wife named Yetunde. Yetunde had three daughters, Folake, Aderonke, and Ifedayo. Yetunde and her two older daughters hated Adebimpe because she was Olumide's favorite. Whenever Olumide traveled, he would buy his daughters beautiful gifts, and he would buy extra for Adebimpe. He loved his other daughters too, but he didn't want Adebimpe to feel the absence of her mother. Therefore, Yetunde and her daughter hated her, except for the youngest daughter, Ifedayo. When Olumide leaves the house, they would start mistreating Adebimpe. Yetunde would tell Adebimpe to sweep the entire compound, make food, fetch water from the stream, wash all the clothes, including those of her stepsisters, and also go to the market to sell the crops. Adebimpe would do all this without complaining. She loved her stepmother and step-siblings so much, but the love was never reciprocated. Yetunde and her daughters would often mock her, make her do all the hard chores while they relax and enjoy themselves. One day, when Olumide had finished eating dinner, he called his daughters and told them about the upcoming dancing festival, which takes place every 4 years. He encouraged Adebimpe and two of her younger sisters, Folake and Aderonke, to participate. The girls were so excited and they began to prepare. When Folake and Aderonke went to practice, Yetunde would tell Adebimpe to stay behind and do the chores. Adebimpe could barely have time to rehearse. Yetunde tried her best to keep Adebimpe from taking part in the competition. When the day of the competition came, the villagers were gathered in the village square. Yetunde warned Adebimpe not to participate in the dance and that she should stay at home and do the chores. Adebimpe was so sad, but her instinct told her to go to the dance. Adebimpe quickly finished the chores and ran to the village square. She didn't want her stepmother to see her, so she hid behind a tree and quietly watched the dance without participating in it. When the festival was almost over, Adebimpe quietly left the square and ran home so her stepmother would not know her whereabouts. On her way home, she met an old woman carrying a heavy load of firewood on her head. Adebimpe quickly ran to the old woman and helped her with the load. When the old woman got to her destination, she thanked Adebimpe for her kindness and asked her for her name. Adebimpe introduced herself and the old woman prayed for her. She gave Adebimpe a coral bead, telling her to keep it safe as it drives away bad spirits. Adebimpe kept the bead very safe and she went home, feeling a sense of hope and protection. Months later, a young man named Ayotunde came to Olumide's house to seek for Adebimpe's hand in marriage. Ayotunde was a young farmer from a well-respected home. Yetunde was jealous because she did not want Adebimpe to get married before her daughters, as there would be no one to do the chores in the house. She came up with all sorts of excuses in order to delay the marriage. 1 week later, another young man named Babajide came to Olumide's house to also seek for Adebimpe's hand in marriage. Babajide was richer than Ayotunde. Yetunde decided to let Adebimpe marry Ayotunde, and Folake married Babajide. Olumide asked her daughters if they were okay with the arrangement, and they both said yes. Adebimpe married Ayotunde and Folake married Babajide. A few months later, Yetunde found out that Ayotunde was not as poor as she thought. In fact, he owned the majority of the plantation in the village, including the one Babajide worked for. He disguised himself as a poor farmer in order to find an honest and hardworking wife. Yetunde was so jealous and angry that Adebimpe got to marry a very wealthy husband and her son-in-law's employer. Yetunde could not contain her jealousy anymore, and she connived with her second daughter Aderonke to destroy Adebimpe's marriage and have Ayotunde marry Aderonke. It wasn't long before the charm Yetunde and Aderonke brought from the witch doctor started working. Ayotunde, under despair, started mistreating Adebimpe. He would reject Adebimpe's food and accuse her of trying to poison him. This went on for weeks. Adebimpe was heartbroken and confused, not understanding why her loving husband had changed drastically. She cried herself to sleep many nights, praying for a solution. One fateful day, Ifedayo, the youngest stepsister, overheard the plot and decided to tell Adebimpe. Ifedayo had always felt bad about how Adebimpe was treated and had finally found the courage to help her. She secretly met Adebimpe and told her everything about the charm and the evil plans. Adebimpe was shocked and started crying because she never expected it from her stepmother and stepsister. Then she remembered the coral bead the old woman gave to her. She quickly ran to her room, retrieved the bead and placed it on her husband's wrist. Immediately she did that, Ayotunde came back to his senses and apologized for everything he did to her. He was confused because that was not who he was. Yetunde and Aderonke immediately went blind. Olumide could not stand the shame any longer, and so he sent them out of his house. Adebimpe became very close to Ifedayo and helped her whenever she could. With Yetunde and Aderonke gone, Adebimpe and Ayotunde's marriage flourished. They continued to work very hard, and their hard work paid off, and the entire family lived in happiness. This is the end of this story. That is it for today's story. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and share with your friends. Subscribe and hit the bell for updates. Let us know where you are watching from in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.